Phoenix Skyhawks are America's heartbreakers with 5 straight one-score losses. Will Phoenix finally stop the streak, or will the Chippers take a bite out of another playoff hopeful? The Cleveland Bandits walloped Rochester in their first meeting this season. Now both teams are desperate. The Bandits to make the playoffs, and the Pioneers to hold off New York for a small-town division crown. And the Fresno Bobcats have new life after a shocking upset over Vegas on the road in New Orleans today, where both teams likely need a win to keep playoff hopes alive. We'll watch it all tonight in the Virtual Zone. Week 16 starts right here on VFN as sit back and enjoy the glory of 3 times the football as 90 minutes of UFL football starts right now. One Mississippi and others are with us here today as we kick off from New York, from Minnesota, from Louisiana. We are underway as Week 16 really ramps up. Last night, Vegas shocked St. Louis in the primetime matchup to start the week. The Devils clinch a playoff spot. That means that in the West, only 4 playoff spots remain. You can see the updated playoff picture as Tyler Fulks got a catch for Minnesota all the way inside the 30 down to the Phoenix 24-yard line. A major play already here today on game night as the Chippers get the ball into Phoenix territory. But you can see Vegas, San Diego, Los Angeles, Salt Lake, and in fact, Dakota, all with 5 wins. The West stacked at the top. All 5 of those teams have clinched a playoff spot, but Los Angeles has not clinched their division. Austin has not clinched their division. And essentially, you've got 6 or 7 teams fighting for 3 playoff spots, one of which will be awarded by the Southwest. That's a fumble for Cleveland, and it's picked up by Rochester down to the 9-yard line. Pass was intended for Cash Carter. It looked like it might have been behind the line of scrimmage, and the ball was ripped out by Carlos Watson, the unclaimed linebacker. And an early turnover for Rochester, that helped them out in a win over Vegas a couple of games ago when their offense was continuing to struggle as the pass intended for Tyler Falk in the end zone is incomplete. On 3rd down and 3, New Orleans converts a first down, so their opening drive will continue. Michael Osbury with that catch. So now we're in Rochester where it's 1st down and goal for the Pioneers. The handoff goes to Casey Mears, getting down to the 6-yard line. We've got 4 of the 6 teams today coming off of losses. That's New Orleans, Rochester, Cleveland, and and Minnesota and Phoenix. I got one of those incorrect. Cleveland is not coming off a loss. Rochester, Fresno as Mears gets down to the 1. New Orleans and I got it wrong again. The Pioneers, Claws, Skyhawks, and Chippers coming off of losses here today. Fresno and Cleveland off of wins. Falk lost the ball, recovered by Minnesota, but it's going to be a deep 4th down. And on 3rd down and goal, Rochester goes to Mears 3 straight times down on the goal line, and she cannot get in. So the Cleveland fumble will just result in a field goal for the Pioneers. That has been a struggle for Rochester, as Mears has just not been able to get it done recently, but at least they will have an opportunity to get points. Now you also see after the Rivermen got shellacked by Vegas yesterday that the Rivermen have fallen to the 5 seed for the first time in a very long time. That field goal was almost blocked. The 44-yarder for Minnesota is good. So 44-3 off your board. But St. Louis and Dallas fighting for that Central Division lead. Dallas currently holds it. They will take on Los Angeles later on in Week 16 in a huge cross-conference matchup. I would imagine that will be a primetime game as well. Los Angeles needs it to stay on top of San Diego. Dallas needs it to stay on top of St. Louis. Someone is going to surrender a division lead in that game. The loser will lose their division lead. The winner will keep it. So that's a monster matchup coming up at the end of Week 16 on Sunday, August 24th. along with Charlotte, New York, Wichita, Cincinnati, and Milwaukee, Tennessee. A very good slate on Sunday, August 24th. And you can see all those games in here on Game Night. LA, Dallas, probably getting that primetime spot. So Rochester gets the field goal. Minnesota gets the field goal. The Chippers field goal was from, I'll just confirm for you, it was from 44 yards away. Is that right? Wow, we had two 44-yard field goals simultaneously. That is brutal for the Yugo players out there, as 44 and 3 are off the board first. We go to New Orleans, where they're attempting a 53-yard field goal. New Orleans has had some kicking problems, and that kick is no good. One of New Orleans' options to improve the team this week was to boost their kicker. They had missed 6 field goals coming into the game. Now they've missed 7. Just did not have the distance on that kick. It actually hit the padding underneath the goalpost, and Fresno will take over in a scoreless game. Unfortunate play for the Claws. Bobcats get the stop early. Phoenix has the football for the first time today, trailing 3-0. But the Yugo link is not found. Interesting. Okay, 1 second. Let's see what happened. Ah, it's not found. Here we go.
Let's go, baby. Turn over. Get that ball. Get that ball.
I forgot to put a space. There's a space missing on that URL. Here is the proper URL if you did not claim your card yesterday. Good call, Damon. T-Roy says we should do more day games. It just feels different, cooler, in my opinion. Yeah, I would like to. It's a shift in the schedule, and I don't know. I appreciated that shift in the schedule. It might be something that we look into more often. However, the ratings are not responding. So if people want more day games, they have to show up for game days. But you know, it's early here on Game Night. We know that we get a late arriving crowd as Yugo numbers fill up, as the scores get spicy, and as the playoff possibilities loom large. Fresno's going to be stopped on their opening drive. A bobbled snap, and Minnesota has blocked the punt. The Chippers take it back for a touchdown. Phoenix is in trouble early. The Skyhawks trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. They have fallen off the in the hunt of the graphic, although they are still alive in the playoff picture. But Minnesota gets a special teams play and our first touchdown of the day. The official number on the return yardage is going to be 20 yards on that return. And the extra point could put Minnesota up 10-zip. The extra point is good. And it's 10-0 Minnesota. We got a full day of football coming up here on the Virtual Football Network. Week 6 of the SFL kicks off at 4:45 Central, 5:45 p.m. Eastern with the Matt Wilson SFL Kickoff Show. Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith. Ray Chapatulis up to the 27-yard line. Boss Cameron on the return for the Bandits, so they get the stop on Rochester's first drive of the long field. Wiska Lafouche overthrows his intended target. Now it's 4th and 3. Let's get to what these teams adjusted here today. Let's start with Minnesota. Their game plan, they've really struggled on third down. The Chippers are second worst in third down conversion this season at just 38.5%. So they look to adjusting that today. Phoenix, they wanted to work on their late game situations. Their no-huddle offense in 4 and 2 minutes, so we'll see how they can execute on that today. Shai Ronnie's going to be sacked. Rochester's defense off to a good start. Cornish makes the play, third down and 15.
That's it, baby.
about New Orleans? They wanted to spread defenses out. Their tight ends do not have a lot of great run blocking, neither do their wide receivers, so getting themselves in some more spread looks could help Ray Chapatulas get some more open space in this running game as they continue to work on that offensive front. That pass from Larry Randolph incomplete, so 2nd down and 10 for Fresno. Both offenses in New Orleans off to a little bit of a slow start. Finally, Rochester's game plan is that pass was nearly caught, but Shy Ronnie's off to an 0-for-2 start. Cleveland will have to punt the football. Rochester wanted to adjust the passing game to take advantage of speed and Wilson's accuracy. They don't have a lot of deep threats or deep ball weapons on this team, just trying to maximize their efficiency. When we were looking over Rochester's game plan coming into the week, they had so many route concepts as that ball is caught, wow, by Phoenix's Chris Andrews down to the Minnesota 32-yard line. Andrews ran under this football. I am shocked that that was actually completed. Joe Tillo, one of the best balls of the season, and Chris Andrews really had to work for this. He ran about 15 yards underneath that football to make that catch, and Phoenix has some momentum for the first time today, down inside the 35-yard line of Minnesota. That's a good call, Ron. I was trying to figure out what you meant by the yardage. Yeah, 21 is also off the board. Whiskey LaFouche back to throw. As I was saying for Rochester, they just had a ton of route concepts that were just kind of running to a spot and stopping. Needed more movement in the Pioneers' passing attack. Matt Wilson has some movement there, but the ball is jarred loose and knocked away. So Rochester's still trying to get that passing game moving. It's 3rd down and 10 for the Pioneers at the Cleveland 45. Chapatulas has 43 yards on her first 6 carries, so the run game adjustments are working for the Claws. Obviously, they would have liked that field goal on the board. Cleveland brings a blitz. Matt Wilson fires over the middle of the field. That's caught down to the Cleveland 26-yard line for a first down. Now Phoenix is in the red zone, down to the 8-yard line with 4:50 to go in the first quarter. Hakeem Manu-Maluna with the catch as the Skyhawks try to bounce back from an early field goal allowed, plus a blocked punt return for a touchdown. Both New Orleans and Rochester, neither team has ever made the playoffs in Ultimate Football League history. Rochester in a better position to do that, but New Orleans still hanging around in this playoff picture. Going to be 2nd down and goal for Phoenix at the 8-yard line after that last completion. The handoff goes to Chapatulas. She is cut down at the Fresno 40. The first quarter nearly over there in New Orleans.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
Joe Tillo from the 8. Tillo is sacked back at the 15-yard line. Carnes with the takedown for Minnesota. Minnesota has struggled getting pressure on the quarterback this season, 7th worst in the UFL as Casey Mears is thrown backwards. Pioneers are putting together a drive. They're inside the 30, but it's 3rd down and 13 coming up at the Cleveland 29-yard line. Wilson dropping a throw, taking off and running inside the 20. Wilson, first down to the 13-yard line, and now Rochester is in the red zone. 3rd down and goal with the 15 for Tillo. Tillo will fire. That pass is incomplete. And Phoenix is going to end up settling for a field goal. But at least they'll get the contest back to a 1-score game. This is another, New Orleans is going for another 50-plus yard field goal. This one a much better kick from 54, but it's missed wide right. So the Claws have missed 2 long field goals in the opening quarter. This is a 32-yarder for Phoenix. That kick is good. But the kicking woes in New Orleans continue. 1st down and 10 for Rochester down to the 8-yard line. Wilson's off to a 3-for-6 start for 24 yards. Anderson has 2 of those grabs. Rochester has struggled this season getting Dijon Swan and Evan Wood and Justin Reside the football. Wilson going to try to connect here. Does so for the first down to the 1-yard line. 4 of 7 for 31 yards. Larry Randolph's got a first down for Fresno into New Orleans territory. That last pass caught by Reside. His first of the day for the Pioneers. Can Rochester punch it in from 1 yard out? The handoff to Mears, and Mears is dropped for a 3-yard loss. Just 3 yards on 7 carries for Mears is Rochester's run game, which actually statistically is pretty good. If you look at yards per carry, Rochester is 7th in the UFL at 5.1 yards a carry, but you wouldn't think it the way they've been running the football recently. Hand off to Cardiac Squid of Fresno down to the New Orleans 28-yard line. Doug Falk dropping a throw. Falk gonna take off and run. This is Mears, and Mears still cannot get into the end zone. Down to the 1, 3rd down and goal. You appreciate the confidence that the Pioneers have in Mears, but it's hard to go away from her again on 3rd and goal at the 1. But here we are. Rochester trying to get a touchdown inside the 5. Wilson going to throw, and that pass is caught by Dijon Swan. Touchdown Pioneers, they go to the air. And if you can believe it, that is touchdown number 21 actually for Matt Wilson, which is actually surprising because their passing game hasn't been much to snuff about. That's tied for 15th in the UFL alongside Cleveland and some others. If you're wondering, Miami leads the league in passing touchdowns with 32, 4 more than Adam Wiseman over in Milwaukee. That pass from Doug Falk is good to Tyler Falk to the 40-yard line. Minnesota moves the sticks, first down. Extra point is good for Rochester, and they take a 10-3 lead. 7 still not off the board, a designated free space, although Fresno trying to change that. They have started the second quarter in New Orleans. The Bobcats down to the 6-yard line. It is a 1st and goal for Fresno, and we just go back and forth from red zone trip to red zone trip here on game day. Minnesota's got an early lead. Rochester has certainly come out looking a little more spry in the first quarter. And Fresno, after a dull first quarter, trying to get on the board here. 1st and goal at the 6. Larry Randolph going to throw. Randolph checks it down over the middle. Touchdown, Bobcats. From 6 yards out, Fresno gets the score, and the Bobcats are on the board. You see that all 3 home teams, very slim spreads today, and all 3 home teams, the technical dogs. Minnesota 3.5, Rochester 1.5, since they lost to Cleveland earlier and have been struggling. New Orleans a 2.5-point dog, and so far Fresno, the Cats, up 6-0, extra point pending. The extra point for Fresno is good, and there's your 7 off the board. 7-0. Fresno over New Orleans. The Claws have moved the football, but 2 missed field goals in the first half have them still with a goose egg on the board. Only New Orleans and Cleveland with that 0 still there. And in the East, it's a crowded picture. Motor City, Milwaukee, Tennessee, all 7-7. Then you've got Charlotte, New Orleans, and Wichita, all at 6-8. That punt goes out of bounds for Minnesota at the 12, so Phoenix will get the football. Let's go to Rochester, where Cleveland has a 2nd down and 11. They dump that one off to Annie Beaverhausen to pick up 2, and that ends the first quarter of play. It's also the end of the first quarter of play in Minneapolis. Ray, 8 carries, 44 yards in the early stages of this game, 5.5 yards per carry. Joe Tillo dropping a throw. The blitz is picked up, wide open. First down for Phoenix, Beaverhausen's got a Cleveland first down. Sansbino with the catch for the Skyhawks, and Hill with his first catch for the Bandits. This is one of the final 8 game nights of the season. Great catch at the 33-yard line. Who was the receiver for New Orleans with that? Cameron Bailey with his 3rd grab. Beautiful job. 7 more game nights to go before the end of the regular season. Every 3 days here on the Virtual Football Network. That's about 3 more weeks until we hit the playoffs, as Ray Chapatulis has a first down to the Fresno 39-yard line. Doing well in space as Tillo fires for a first down to the Minnesota 36-yard line. 7 of 10 for 99 yards is Tillo. 3rd catch for Sansbino, and it was a very slow start for Phoenix, but the Skyhawks are starting to pick things up. Shai Ronnie, first down to the Cleveland 41-yard line with 10 minutes to go in the first half. LaFouche dumps that one off, broken tackle, and New Orleans is near midfield. Jarrell Tarrant with his 8th carry of the first half. Phoenix at the Minnesota 33. Rochester and New Orleans now also across the 50. So we have 3 teams trailing, driving with the football right now. As the handoff goes to Young. Wide open on the sideline. Phoenix is in the red zone. Down to the 16-yard line. Tillo hits Andy Sands for the first down. Phoenix could potentially tie this thing up here. Handoff to Swift, and he picks up, actually lost 2 yards.
Down, 15, Lonnie. 15,
By the way, as Phoenix drops to throw at the 16-yard line, that is caught at the 3. The UFL reached out to NFL Red Zone's own Scott Hansen earlier this week. Wanted to drop a line and see what he thought of the channel. We did hear back from Scott Hansen himself. This is just breaking news on the channel, just fun stuff here on the Virtual Football Network. He says, "Hi VFN, thanks for the kind words. Can't wait to crank it up. 9/7/25. All the best with your YouTube channel. You know I love a good quad box." So great to hear from Scott Hansen. Appreciate the love, and we'll be supporting him all NFL season long. The inspiration for how we are presenting the UFL to you this season and for many seasons beyond. Cleveland had to punt, but it is 2nd down and goal at the 1-yard line for Phoenix. Tillo on a play action, wide open in the back of the end zone, but I think Andrews must have stepped out of bounds.
Offense.
And that will be accepted, so 3rd down and goal on the 1-yard line. Whisker LaFouche has New Orleans in the red zone, and that's a Phoenix touchdown. The Skyhawks an extra point away from tying the game. Darrell Tarrant into the end zone. Phoenix has erased a 10-0 deficit. That's something that Cleveland has not been able to do today, still being blanked here in the first half. Michael Osbury with the catch for New Orleans. First down and goal at the 3, and it looked like Fresno jumped offside. That's going to put the ball either at the 1 or the 2-yard line. We've already had 2 one-yard touchdowns today. And they will officially mark it at the 1-yard line. So first down and goal coming up for New Orleans, trying to tie the game with 5:18 to go in the first half, just as Phoenix did.
Ready. 60 outlaw. 53 is Mike. Hey, watch the slant.
Oh, what a hit What a hit by Cleveland's defense. That is a touchdown for Scott and the Claws from 1 yard out, our third rush. Look at this hit on the sideline. Anderson turning upfield, and he just got brutalized. Shook on the sideline, and did the ground cause that fumble? That's going to be a question for the officials. Are we going to get a booth review there? That was very close. But right now, there is no review. Wow, a major forced fumble for the Cleveland defense. And just like Fresno's defense forced a fumble in opponent's territory, Cleveland has now done the same. And maybe the Bandits can finally put together some momentum down to the Rochester 26-yard line. Scott Hansen is taking over the halftime of Madden 26, and we were hoping maybe we could get a little collab with Hansen going, but obviously he's got plenty to do, as Rochester just got an interception on the sideline. Brown, Cleveland turns it back over. Strong safety Champ Brown with the pick, and that is gut-wrenching to the Cleveland Bandit offense that has just not gotten things going as well as they did in the first meeting at home against the Pioneers. Dalton Brown gets it to the 42-yard line, and that's a pickup of 8 for Fresno's Larry Randolph. He's off to a 4-for-6 start. Kind of a strange game in New Orleans. It's tied at 7, but it doesn't really feel like these teams have had a lot of possessions. Both teams have moved the ball down the field very methodically. New Orleans missed 2 field goals, as that ball on 2nd down and 2 will not get Fresno the first down. Byam with the catch and technical run. Claiborne on the stop. 2nd and 3. Both teams in the Rochester and Cleveland game have 26 rushing yards, and Mears is stuffed again. 9 yards on just 10 carries. 4th down and 7 for Minnesota. How about Phoenix's defense stepping up? They brought some pressure here, forced a check down on 3rd down. And the Skyhawks, who trailed 10-0 early in this game, will have an opportunity to take the lead. We want to direct you back to our current playoff picture. It is Austin, Fresno, Portland, San Jose, Houston, El Paso, and Phoenix, all within 1 game of each other. 7 teams fighting for 3 playoff spots out in the West. In the East, only 3 playoff spots have been clinched. That's Dallas, Miami, and St. Louis. Miami, the only division winner that has clinched. And then it is Rochester, Cincinnati, New York, Tennessee, Milwaukee, Motor City, New Orleans, and Charlotte, along with Wichita. That is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams fighting for the final 5 playoff spots in the East. Now, you can also include Florida, Cleveland, and Washington into the mix in the East. Albuquerque in the West, all at 5 and 9. It's very unlikely, but still technically a very real mathematical chance for any of those teams to win out, get to 7 and 9, and hope for chaos in the wild card over the final couple of weeks. Larry Randolph has Fresno inside the 50. Will take the check down to Squid near field goal range at the 35-yard line, as once again Fresno methodically moving the football down the field. Hill with another catch for Cleveland, as the Bandits are the last team to score today on game night. 4:35 to go in the first half. Rochester with a 10-0 lead at home, trying to keep ahead of New York in the Metro Division. A loss today would mean that New York would be your new division leader for the first time this season in the Metro. A delay of game on Cleveland. That's a gut punch. Will set up a 1st down and 15.
Still 1st down.
4:26 to go in the first half. Shy Ronnie dropping a throw. And Ronnie will take off and break a tackle at the 45 down to the 40-yard line. Ronnie picks up 4 yards. 4:10 to go in the first half. Down to 2 minutes to go in New Orleans. Larry Randolph across the 50 and puts that one on a rope for a first down. Freddie Spencer been a little quiet in the first half. He had his coming out party last week in that huge win over Vegas. Nice around the back shoulder catch there from Spencer as he spins to collect that one in. 3rd down and 3 for Shy Ronnie. Finds an open receiver, and now Cleveland is in the red zone. Minnesota is across the 50 trying to answer Phoenix's 10 unanswered points with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Randolph dropping to throw, fires into the end zone. That pass is caught for a 15-yard touchdown. Freddie Spencer with the score. Fresno back in front. Minnesota is across the 30, down to the Phoenix 25-yard line. The Chippers keeping the pressure up. Cleveland now at the 15. Jaden Swift on the carry to the 12-yard line as the Bandits look for their first points. Been a tough day for the Hugo players. We've had 3 different 1-yard touchdown runs, 2 44-yard field goals. With this extra point, Fresno will take 15 and 14 off the board. Cleveland is inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line. And they have reached the 2-minute warning. Two minutes to go in Minnesota, 2 minutes to go in Rochester. Those games have basically been simultaneous this entire time. 1:50 to go in New Orleans after the Bobcat touchdown. Doug Falk inside the 20, and now Minnesota is in the red zone. Jaden Swift takes the carry. Both Rochester and Cleveland's run defense inside the 5 has been superb. Champ Brown with the earlier interception makes the hit in the backfield on Jaden Swift. New Orleans will try to get something going in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Fresno and Minnesota, along with Rochester, have maintained control. We have not had a single lead change here on game night so far. Minnesota trying to go back up by a score from the 5-yard line. Doug Falk overthrows his intended receiver. Okay, now Cleveland 2nd down and goal. Shy Ronnie over the top. That pass is caught. 3-yard score. Cleveland is on the board. Annie Beaverhausen with the touchdown. All day to throw for LaFouche. She's going to take off and run. For Beaverhausen, that is touchdown number 6 on the season. She needed 74 yards coming into the game to have a 1,000-yard season in 13 starts for the Bandits. This season as Chapatulas takes the carry out of the no huddle. It's 3rd down and inches. The extra point for Minnesota is up and good. 17-10 Chippers, and on 3rd down and inches, New Orleans cannot convert. LaFouche 7 of 9 for 73 yards, was looking for Chapatulas in the slot. And Ray was unable to hang on. A monster hit from the Bobcat defense. And let's see, we've got a punt. And we just got back-to-back touchdowns. Looks like Rochester is going to be the first team to possess the football here on these recent changes of possessions. And at the moment, all 3 of these critical game night games playing at a special matinee time. All are 1-score ball games. Larry Randolph, 8 of 12, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. A very solid half here in New Orleans. Randolph dropping to throw. That pass is complete for another Fresno first down. They'll be in the no huddle with 45 seconds to go. Wilson delivers a ball to Reside for a first down. 9 of 13 for 74 yards and a touchdown for Matt Wilson today. The passing offense looking a little bit more spry for the Pioneers. So far this season, Rochester is the second lowest passing yards team, only averaging 186 passing yards per game. They're about on average, at least at the moment, for Rochester.
Come on, set. 60 or.
1:12 to go. Still plenty of time in this first half and all 3 timeouts. Wilson on a slant. There's a flag and a block. And Dejon Swan has taken that 60 yards unless a hold will bring it back. Wow. Unfortunate there for Rochester as the 60-yard touchdown is wiped off the board due to a holding call. Matt Wilson, though, is still slinging it. 50 seconds left and 3 timeouts. That's the 3rd catch for Justin Reside.
70, Indy.
T-Roy, thank you. You are all over it. I am slow to the trigger today. Wilson tries to avoid a sack. They'll have to burn a timeout on 3rd down and 1. Randolph off target. So New Orleans is going to get a stop. Hey, Phoenix is in their 2-minute offense, their revised 2-minute offense for the first time today. It's 3rd down and 10, though, with 1:04 to go in the first half. Can the Skyhawks get something before the break on the Chippers, who have had their fair share of upsets down the stretch of the season? They are not in playoff contention with a 4-10 record, but are putting things together late in the season. That was not what Phoenix was looking for in their first attempt at their revitalized 2-minute offense. Minnesota calls the timeout, and they'll get another opportunity just before the half. The Chippers have recent wins over the Dakota Rhinos and Portland Huskies, who are both in the mix for the playoffs. They beat Tennessee in double overtime, also in the mix for the playoffs. So Minnesota loves spoiling teams' seasons, I guess. Was that Minnesota score 5 yards? I thought it was 3.
Ready.
Oh, it was 5 yards. There you go, Juan. Appreciate you. Minnesota. Oh, face mask on Phoenix. That's going to tack on 15 more. Dejon Swan's got Rochester down into the red zone with 10 seconds to go. 8 seconds. Oh, they're going to get this snap off. Wilson, can he get a touchdown just before the half? Yes! What a drive for Rochester before the break. Dejon Swan's 2nd receiving touchdown of the season. And Rochester could not have executed that any more perfectly. Swan's 8th score. Matt Wilson in the passing offense has it going on for the Pioneers today, trying to maintain their lead in the Metro Division. The yardage on that throw was from 10 yards away. With 2 seconds to spare, Wilson delivers a ball beautifully. And 10 should have been off the board earlier, but it is now. Or it was on the board. My mistake. Minnesota's got 23 seconds left. And they get out of bounds. Excellent juke move out of bounds from Tyler Falk to preserve time. 21 seconds. Anything in the field of play for Minnesota is going to be their last play before a field goal. Or they could save themselves by getting out of bounds. Can Minnesota tack on more points at the end of the half? Caught at the 4-yard line, but because of the 10-second runoff, Minnesota will only get a field goal out of the deal. The Chippers almost pulling off a dramatic score at the end of the half, but Tyler Falk is dragged down at the 3-yard line, a touchdown saving tackle by Minnesota's defense. But it looks like the Chippers will end up taking a 10-point lead into the break. As long as they get the time off, which they do. So Minnesota started with a 10-0 lead. Then Phoenix scored 10 straight. Look at Tyler Falk, 138 receiving yards on 7 catches in the first half. And now Minnesota's going to go for it. Oh boy, Minnesota trying to step on the neck of Phoenix and their playoff hopes. First and goal at the 4. What do they have to lose? Doug Falk dropping back to pass. He is sacked, and Phoenix gets a huge stop. Nick Fritchie, the linebacker, with a sack that withholds points. Look at Byam with a tremendous catch from Fresno at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That's something that New Orleans is missing off their roster. Dynamic playmakers like that. Byam makes the catch for Fresno. And they are now into New Orleans territory as they have started the second half. Imagine if Minnesota's 4-10, they're eliminated. So why not try to go up by 14 and really make Phoenix sweat? They cannot, so the Skyhawks dodge a bullet and will start the third quarter trailing 17-10. Start of the third quarter in New York. Matt Wilson on a play action delivers a ball that is intercepted. Pressure on Wilson up the middle, forced an errant throw. Aaron Marsh with the interception. And that interception is interesting because it is just the 6th interception for Matt Wilson this season. That is the fewest in the UFL. Fresno is now into the red zone. Fewest in the UFL. San Diego also has 6, but San Diego has thrown 70 less passes than Rochester has. So a very good stat line there from Wilson. But throws an interception all the same. And now it is Cleveland ball around the 50, trying to erase this 10-point deficit. Fresno trying to go up by 2 scores against the Claws. Right in the thick of the Great West playoff picture. New Orleans clinging to playoff hope, in need of a stop. Randolph with a catch, pick up a 5 yards. Byam's 5th catch for 81.
Come on, set, 30 base.
Phoenix has the football to start the third quarter, trailing by 7. Randolph on a play action rollout, takes a sack, a loss of 10. Randolph in trouble in the backfield. He was sacked by the strong safety, Antoine Brandon. Strong safety's having a nice day today here on Game Night. Appreciate all of you watching a special game day presentation of Game Night as Joe Tillo drops that one in the bucket. Down to the 45, that pass is caught for Fresno, 20-yard touchdown. Cardiac squid out of the backfield. The Bobcats take a 2-touchdown lead on the road in New Orleans. As Shai Ronnie's got the ball to the Rochester 22-yard line. Cleveland trying to answer the Rochester touchdown they got in the final seconds of the first half. Phoenix across the Minnesota 50-yard line, 10.5 to go in the third quarter. The extra point is good for Fresno, a 20-yard touchdown. They now lead 21-7. The duplicate numbers continue here on Game Night. That is just we still have 13 called numbers. Haven't even had to move anything off the board yet, and we are all in the third quarter across the lead. Second down and 4 for Phoenix. Joe Tillo over the middle, caught. Sansbino down to the Minnesota 22-yard line. What a shocker. Phoenix is trailing in the second half by 1 score. The Skyhawks have lost 5 straight games, have fallen back in the playoff picture, still certainly relevant. Inside the 20, down to the 10, and Cleveland is now in the red zone at the 3-yard line. Phoenix close to the red zone. Cleveland in the red zone on their opening drive of the second half. The Bandits, a fascinating potential postseason story. What just happened there on that was a wild kick return for Osbury. Cleveland first and goal at the 3. Handoff, Jaden Swift, touchdown. Another duplicate score, but the Bandits are in the end zone and they have cut the deficit 2-4 once again. Cleveland's won 2 straight, 3 of their last 4. And Phoenix is in the red zone down to the 8-yard line. This is a deep ball from LaFouche, a little off target, but still a completion of 18 yards. 8 of 10 for 90 yards. Cameron Bailey with his 4th grab as New Orleans tries to respond to the Fresno touchdown. 17-14. Rochester and Cleveland going back and forth in a Metro Division battle, the second meeting between the two squads this season. It is first down and goal at the 8-yard line. For Phoenix, handoff Terriant down to the 6. LaFouche, broken tackle. Wow, big hit. Delivered there up to the Fresno 46-yard line. I love how a lot of these teams are responding well just after touchdowns here today. Second and goal at the 6. Joe Tillo dropping a throw. Tillo, dangerous check down and a hospital pass. To Terriant, that's blown up. Tillo now 16 of 22 passing today. Third and goal at the 6-yard line for the Skyhawks. Down 7. Wilson 13 of 18 today. Tillo against the pressure. It's picked up. Tillo all kinds of time and almost intercepted. But the pass falls incomplete. New Orleans down to the Fresno 21 for a claw first down. LaFouche is 10 of 12. That's Cameron Bailey again. Wilson to the sideline delivers another deep ball. 159 passing yards today for Rochester, just 30 shy of their season average. Najee Anderson with that completion. The field goal from 23 yards away is good for Phoenix. 23-13 off the board. New Orleans is back in the red zone. I feel like every time we have had a team exit the red zone, we've had a team enter the red zone today. Mears is dragged down again in the backfield, 7 yards on 11 carries. Mears' struggles in the back half of this season are well documented. First and goal at the 8. Read option. Whisker LaFouche fooled everybody and got down to the 2-yard line. Almost like he was strolling through the park. Fresno did not realize that he had the football until it was almost too late. Clever play there from Whisker LaFouche. Handoff, Chapatulis is going to lose 2 yards. Gut check time here for the Claws. Third and goal at the 4, down 14 with 4:05 to go. 17-13 Minnesota, 17-14 Rochester. Doug Falk will check it down out of the backfield. That'll pick up just 2. Anderson with another grab, but it's short of the sticks. That's his 7th catch of the day. Cleveland's going to get the stop, and don't look now. The Bandits are coming back. Third and goal at the 4. What's New Orleans going to do? LaFouche out of the empty. LaFouche hit as he throws and goes down. Ducty Tape with the sack, his first of the day. And the second for Fresno. New Orleans will have to kick the field goal. Punt for Rochester, dies at the half-yard line. What a play. And Phoenix gets the stop. So trailing by 1 score, the Skyhawks are going to get the football back in the middle of the 3rd. So let's see, New Orleans eventually is going to kick this field goal. Cleveland is in dangerous territory. This is a 26-yard field goal attempt. Cleveland gets it out to the 3. 26-yarder for New Orleans is up and good. That makes the score in Louisiana 21-10. An 11-point margin for the Bobcats. Second down and 8 for Cleveland. 6:10 to go in the third. Handoff on a fullback. That is picked up to the 8-yard line. A 5-yard gain, 3rd and 3. So Cleveland successfully out of the shadow of their own end zone. But can the Pioneers defense get a stop? Joe Tillo back to work for Phoenix with 6:14 to go in the third quarter. The handoff goes to Swift. 3rd down and 3, and Rochester gets the stand. Pioneers with the stop. E.K. Vincent, 5 tackles on the day. He's also got a sack. And Rochester for now will maintain their lead. 2nd down and 6 to Minnesota. Tillo another check down. 18 of 25 for 208 yards. Larry Randolph already with 3 touchdowns today. A huge 3rd down and 5 coming up for Phoenix, down by 4. Minnesota has led the entire way. 41st offensive play for Phoenix today. And Tillo is inaccurate. The Skyhawks will have to punt again. Needing something to go their way, some sort of fortune, not misfortune. Let's go to Rochester, under 5 to go in the third. Another completion for Matt Wilson, 17 of 22 for 171 yards. Passing offense looking much better today. Luis Caduti says, can we see the playoff picture on the website? Yes and no. Actually, we probably could add that as a custom page, but essentially the playoff picture, just because our rules are different than the default rule sets that are part of our web development on the back end, as Casey Mears gets a first down on the 28-yard line. You can see our playoff pictures here and on Instagram, but they're in the upper right-hand corner. Here's what we're looking at if you're keeping up with things. Salt Lake, Los Angeles, Dakota, San Diego, and Vegas have clinched playoff spots in the West. Salt Lake and Dakota have clinched their divisions. Salt Lake or Los Angeles is battling San Diego in the Pacific. Austin is battling with everyone in the Southwest. Phoenix, Houston, and El Paso all still alive. No one out west today can clinch a playoff spot, as Wilson is going for the end zone for Rochester, and that ball is knocked away. Good defense from the Bandits. 3rd down and 10 for Minnesota, as Doug Falk's throw to the sideline is caught, but the receiver was out of bounds. That is ill-advised. In the East, Dallas, St. Louis, and Miami have clinched playoff spots, but Miami is the only one that has clinched their division. No one can clinch a playoff spot this week. That's a touchdown 28 yards away for Rochester. Casey Mears finally gets loose for the Pioneers. Wow, and she has not had any running room all day long. Had to make it happen on the outside, but every time Cleveland gets a little closer to the Pioneers, Boss Cameron got juked out of his shoes. Rochester takes a step forward. Fresno now back on the move, leading New Orleans 21-10. I'm going to talk to our web developer about that standings issue on mobile. We have many website improvements and upgrades coming for 2026. That's an area of focus for us, so stay tuned for that, as Cardiac Squid has 14 carries for 44 yards. New Orleans has kept them decently contained, not on that run, as Fresno is in the red zone. Phoenix has the football back, and they are across the 50-yard line. That's Chris Andrews up to the Minnesota 48. 200 passing yards now for Phoenix. Andrews has 6 grabs for 97 yards. Skyhawks have trailed the entire way. 3:30 to go in the third. End of the third quarter in New Orleans. This is Tillo to the sideline, caught for a first down to the 39-yard line. 28 was the last number off the board. Clear it out. give you the numbers back. In our upper right-hand quadrant, that is Larry Randolph getting sacked by Anthony, a loss of 9 in the backfield. Boy, did New Orleans need that. They desperately need to keep this a 2-score game, down 21-10. Shy Ronnie back to work for the Bandits. They have trailed all day, and Ronnie is sacked. That's Simmons' first. 1st and 10 for Tillo and the Skyhawks. Again, he's got to dump it off short as nothing was open deep. That's a 2-yard pickup with 2:45 to go in the third quarter. 24 is off the board. Man, you guys, I wish you were here to type on my keyboard. Larry Randolph's pass is incomplete, so now 3rd and long for Fresno. This bodes well for New Orleans to keep this a 2-score game. 2nd down and 8, Tarriant's 15th carry. Will set up a crucial 3rd down and 3 for Phoenix, trailing by 4. Handoff to Jaden Swift. 3rd and long coming up for Cleveland, and Larry Randolph's pass over the middle is short of the stick, so Fresno will have to kick a field goal. That's a 1st down for Phoenix into the red zone of the 15-yard line. One team leaves, another enters. Andy Sands with the catch, his 2nd today. That's good enough for a Skyhawk 1st down. Shy Ronnie's pass on 3rd and 18 overthrown, and Rochester could start to pull away from this one late in the 3rd. Cleveland's played a decent game, but not a good enough game, as Matt Wilson has been on the money most of the day. 31-yard field goal for Fresno is up and good, but New Orleans successfully keeps it a 2-score game. Tillo has a 1st and 10 to the 15-yard line, throw into the sideline, getting to the 6. Ray needs a 4. There was an opportunity for a 4 earlier, but quarterback got knocked back and sacked. You can see Mears, 10 carries, 9 yards in the first half, 3 carries, 43 yards in the second half, and that's been another reason why Rochester has been able to maintain the lead. Handoff to Tarriant, down to the 4. Well, there you go, Ray. Potential Hugo in sight. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line for the Skyhawks, trying to take their first lead of the day as we wind down to the end of the 3rd quarter in Minnesota. Tillo on 1st and goal, just gets it off. Handoff, Tarriant, and he's stopped at the 3. Simeon needs a 46. That's the end of the quarter. 17-13, Chippers on top as they start the 4th. 3:03 to 2:24 in total yards in New Orleans. If you're joining us late, the Claws missed 2 field goals in the 1st quarter. Lafourche's pass is caught. 2nd and goal from the 3. Handoff, Tarriant, down to the 1. We could have our 4th 1-yard touchdown of the day. 3rd and goal for Phoenix. Wilson checks it down to the 46. Here goes Tillo on the throw. Tillo looking. Tillo is sacked back at the 7-yard line. 2nd sack for Snow, the 3rd of the day for Minnesota. 4th and goal at the 7 for Phoenix. A field goal would keep them trailing in the football game, down 4. Pass incomplete from Lafourche, just his 3rd incompletion of the day. And Rochester will have to punt. That was 3rd down, so Cleveland gets a huge stop, but field position has not been kind to them. Phoenix is going to, is that another punt that's going to roll out of bounds at the 1? Rochester's punter having a day. Tillo, 4th and goal from the 7. Touchdown, Phoenix! They take their first lead of the day in the 4th quarter on a gutsy 4th down conversion. Phoenix goes for the gusto. They are tired of losing 1-score games. Lafourche fumbles the football on 3rd down, recovered by New Orleans, but they'll have to punt it away. For the 2nd time today, Cleveland's drive starts at the 1-yard line. How about Phoenix on 4th and goal? Potentially saving their season. Phoenix this season on 4th down, now 6 of 12. They've attempted the 8th most fourth downs in the league. And now at 6 fourth down conversions, they are tied for 5th most. Only San Jose, Minnesota, Washington, and St. Louis have more. So a 7-yard score for Phoenix makes it 20-7 or 20-17. Up 3 with 10:51 to go in the fourth. New Orleans needs a stop. Larry Randolph's chucking it deep, and that pass is caught at the 37-yard line. The Claws, if they fall to 6-9, they're still not technically out of the playoff picture. The way that would happen is if 2 of the 7-win teams win, Tennessee, Milwaukee, or Motor City. And if that happens this week, all the 9-loss teams in the East would officially be eliminated from the playoffs. How will Minnesota respond? Rochester just got a safety, and we got to take a look at that again. Yeah, Shai Ronnie takes a sack in the end zone. So that's 2 points for Rochester, but 26 has already been called. But now, more importantly, for the Pioneers, they get a safety, go up by 12, and they get the football heading into the fourth quarter. Cleveland just 149 total yards today. Toss play to Casey Mears. Look at the blocking. Mears down the sideline. She's opened it up in the second half. Up to 70 yards on 15 carries as they come to the end of the third quarter in New York. Larry Randolph, all kinds of time, chucking it deep for Fresno into traffic, and it's caught at the 4. Making all the right plays as Doug Falk's deep ball is cut off. I mean, that was just a whim and a prayer. Look at Muhammad skying over the defense to make the play. Fresno's in the red zone, and could put this game to bed in New Orleans, improve to 8-7, and dramatically improve their playoff chances as Squid is knocked backwards to the 5-yard line with 6:25 to go in the fourth. You don't take 2 off the board, similar to the fact that you don't take 3 off the board for a field goal and 6 off the board for a touchdown. It doesn't work that way. I know you'd like it to work that way, but it doesn't work that way. New Orleans needs a miracle right now. Down to 6:05 to go in the fourth quarter, trailing by 2 scores, 2nd and goal for Fresno. Even a field goal makes this a 3-score game. Squid is dropped for a 2-yard loss back at the 7. 4th and inches, and Minnesota goes for it. Minnesota just converted a 4th down and inches to keep the drive alive with 8:18 to go. Rochester's down to the 1-yard line again. 1st down and goal for the Pioneers. They are in the red zone with 11 minutes left. Both Phoenix and Minnesota have been aggressive on 4th down today. The Skyhawks almost get an interception. Randolph is sacked, and Rochester's got our 5th 1-yard touchdown of the day here on game night. The Pioneers have opened things up. They now lead by 18 over the Bandits. They have 15 unanswered points. No, I appreciate you, T-Roy. Doug Falk's pass is complete to the 32-yard line. The drive stays alive for the Chippers, who have nothing left to lose. Both teams hyper-aggressive today, but that extra point for Rochester gives them 33 on the board. As Doug Falk's pass is caught, Minnesota into the red zone at the 20. A field goal for Fresno from 33 yards is good. Makes it 27-10, and it would appear that things have fallen out of reach for the Claws. In the middle of the season, New Orleans was playing some of their best football. At one point, they had won 3 of 4 and won 4 out of 6, with their only losses a 7-point loss to Houston and a 3-point overtime loss to Miami. But in the last 3 weeks, they lost to Salt Lake 41-17, 31-20 to Florida. As that pass in the end zone is incomplete for Minnesota, it's going to be 3rd down and 10 there. And then here today, they're losing 27-10 to the Bobcats. It's almost like the Claws have run out of gas since getting to 6-6. They got Charlotte to end the season. 3rd down and 10 for Minnesota. They hand the ball off, and Douglas Brown scores from 20 yards out. Minnesota takes the lead on Phoenix. Are you kidding me? 3rd down and 10, just a simple handoff, and Phoenix was definitely not ready for that. That is unbelievable. The play calling today from Phoenix and Minnesota has been exhilarating. And here we go again. Phoenix, 6:29 to go in the 4th, and they trail by 1 score. Ronnie's pass is complete. Cleveland needs to score and score in a hurry. 12 plays, 77-yard drive for Minnesota. Answers Phoenix's 4th and goal touchdown and leaves the Skyhawks with 6:29 to go in the 4th quarter. No huddle offense for New Orleans and Cleveland. Down by more than 2 scores in each of those games. Ronnie's pass is incomplete. Oh my goodness. The Phoenix Skyhawks, especially with Fresno winning right now, any team in the West with 9 losses is in serious danger of missing the playoffs. But at the same time, Phoenix still has an automatic bid they could win in the Southwest, and Austin is only 7-7 as the division leader. Inside the 30, and New Orleans has a 1st down to the 24-yard line. Joe Tillo's numbers today, 24 of 32, 259 yards, a touchdown, and no picks. It's 4th and 8 for Cleveland, and that 4th down is converted. Nice conversion from Ronnie there. New Orleans is in the red zone down to the Fresno 15-yard line. No quit in the Claws. Joe Tillo just took a sack. Perry takes him down. Still 9:10 to go in Rochester. That's the game with the most time. Shy Ronnie is sacked. Lost the ball. New Orleans in the end zone from 15, or in the red zone. 15-yard touchdown is good for the Claws. Marsh with the catch, and New Orleans is not done. 2nd and long for the Bandits. That pass is hauled in. Beautiful ball from Shy Ronnie. Needed 19 and got 20 to Palmer with his first catch. 8:35 to go in Rochester. Joe Tillo on a 2nd down and 16. That pass is complete. 1st down for Phoenix.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
In need of a clutch gene. Manu Maluna with the catch. And the extra point is good for New Orleans. More duplicate numbers. It has been a tough Hugo day. Just 21 called numbers. Usually when you get to around the 24 mark, that's when the bingos start flowing. Ronnie on 2nd down and 10. Fires, caught inside the 20, inside the 10. Annie Beaverhausen down to the 5-yard line. When one team leaves the red zone, another enters. Phoenix 1st and 10. 5:10 to go in the 4th. On a little wheel route. Manu Maluna 1st down to the 48-yard line of Minnesota. No huddle for Cleveland on a 1st and goal. 8 minutes to go in the 4th. Shy Ronnie's pass, caught, touchdown. 5-yard score again here on game night. Annie Beaverhausen 2nd as New Orleans goes for the onside kick. Fresno recovers with 3:07 to go. Monster recovery. Tillo to the sideline, caught. 1st down to the 27-yard line for the Skyhawks.
Let's go.
First catch for Piper today. Goes for 21 yards as Phoenix tries to answer the Minnesota touchdown. Back-to-back touchdowns in the 4th quarter from both the offenses of the Skyhawks and the Chippers.
Here we go. 60 out.
Cardiac squid, first down for Fresno up to the New Orleans 30-yard line. Tillo over the middle. That pass is caught. 4:25 left. Phoenix doesn't have to go no huddle now because they're so close to the end zone, I think. Yeah, they'll continue to run some time off the clock. Cleveland makes it a 12-point game with 7:56 to go in the fourth. New Orleans and Cleveland maybe just a little too late as the Claws will start taking their timeouts with 2:25 to go.
Set, ready? 60 yours.
Cleveland will kick it deep. 4 minutes left. Joe Tillo fires, caught at the 20-yard line. When one team leaves the red zone, another enters. Phoenix is inside the 20. 192 passing yards for Matt Wilson today, a slightly above average day. Timeout New Orleans. Cleveland needs a stop. Casey Mears is dropped in the backfield, 73 yards on 17 carries today.
Let's go now. 18 Gators.
3.5 to go for Phoenix, down 4 in the red zone. Skyhawks play fake. Joe Tillo fires, that is caught. Oh, and pushed forward almost into the end zone, down to the 1-yard line. Could we have our 6th 1-yard touchdown of the day across the UFL? 3:05 to play. The Skyhawks have been snake bitten every single week, all summer long it feels. Wilson trying to connect on 3rd down and 9. He does, but Rochester is short. So Cleveland will get the football back. 1st and goal for Phoenix. 2:48 to go in the fourth quarter. And the handoff around the end is no good. Wow, a little trickery. Marcotte took the sweep, could not get in. Now it's 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line for Phoenix. Skyhawks trying to take the lead. Handoff. Terriot changes direction. Touchdown Phoenix. With 2:13 left, Minnesota has all 3 timeouts. Fresno's in the end zone, and that is a 2-yard score. So Fresno gets the 2 off the board. That's your 22nd called number. Jaden Swift starts off the offense for Cleveland. They're down 12 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That game has the most time remaining. Phoenix has taken the lead in Minnesota. Trying to get within a half game of Austin for the division lead. The extra point for Fresno is good, and 34 is off the board with 30 seconds to spare. A 6-play, 46-yard drive following the onside kick. Fresno answers, and New Orleans playoff hopes are significantly in doubt now. 2:13 left. What can the Chippers do? A couple of people just need 46, it would seem. Maybe Minnesota would get a 46-yard game-tying field goal. 5:28 to go, although they're going to have to hurry here. Shirani down to the 25, down to the 22-yard line and out of bounds with 5:20 to go. Cleveland searching for another touchdown. LaFouche in the second half, 11-13, 141 yards and a score. Great numbers. But New Orleans leaving points on the board today. All right, it's time. Minnesota, 2:06 to go in the fourth quarter. Doug Falk's pass is caught on the sideline. First down to the 37. Ron Haynes needs a 36. Cleveland's at the 22-yard line. 5:15 to go. 5:15 to go in the fourth quarter. This is Ronnie dropping a throw on a check down and pushing forward down to the 11-yard line. First down for Cleveland. 2-minute warning in Minnesota. The Chippers have a first down, and we are under 5 minutes to go in all the games. But, oh, we're so close. I'm going to give you an extension. Cleveland's in the red zone. What can they do? Can they do anything? Ronnie checks it down inside the 10, down to the 5. There's a face mask there. Minnesota is down to the 42-yard line of Phoenix. First down, the hearts and the throats of the Skyhawks here as Minnesota's on the move. 1:35 left in the fourth. Doug Falk dropping a throw. Falk checks down. Nobody else was open. Got 3 yards. The drive stays alive. 1:26 to go. First and goal at the 2. Toss play out to Swift. And Swift is not going to get in the end zone. 2 and 28 are already off the board. 4 is not off the board. So here you go. You could get your 4 if you needed a 4. We're going to give it to you if Cleveland can get it. Second and goal at the 4. 4:26 to go in the fourth. Shy Ronnie's pass is caught for a touchdown. 4-yard score for Cleveland. And how about the Bandits? They trail by just 6. The pass is incomplete, but there's a flag.
Pass interference, defense.
Oh my goodness, our quad box is losing its mind. So that's a pass interference. So now it is 53 seconds left for Minnesota. As Doug Falk, there's another flag on the play. The ball's at the Phoenix 29-yard line. This is a hold on Minnesota. It's coming back. And the Bandits have cut this to a 5-point game. It was a 19-point deficit earlier in the quarter. This ball is picked off. Doug Falk is intercepted. Phoenix needs 1 first down, and they will finally win a 1-possession game and keep the pressure on in the extremely crowded Southwest Division. An errant throw from Doug Falk, who otherwise has had a terrific game today. Holiday with the interception. And Phoenix just needs 1 move of the sticks. Look at Tillo's numbers. 31 of 39 for 339 yards and a touchdown today. That was the first turnover for Minnesota. It has gone final in New Orleans. Fresno has beaten the Claws 34-17. Looking at the playoff picture, that means Fresno will maintain the number 7 seed in the Western Conference heading into our next slate of games on Monday night. New Orleans falls to 6-9, which means Wichita will join Charlotte in the hunt on that Eastern Conference graphic. And for Phoenix, it's 7-8. They would jump El Paso in the hunt. Cleveland trying to get off the field and get a stop, but they cannot, at least on that series. First down and 10, 4:10 to go in the fourth quarter as Rochester all of a sudden is trying to cling to a win. They were blowing out Cleveland 33-14 earlier in this quarter. Wilson, first down and 10, hit as he threw. I don't know how he completed that for a 5-yard pickup. The final called number for Hugo tonight was 4, with 24 called numbers. Hand off to Mears, and nothing doing there. We have not had the longest touchdown of the day, I believe, was in the 20s. We have not had any sort of huge plays down the field, at least that resulted in points. Phoenix just picked up the first down, and the Skyhawks are going to run the clock out. The Phoenix Skyhawks survive a back and forth game with the Minnesota Chippers. Minnesota unfortunately falls to 4-11. They still continue to play some pretty good football deep into this season. Dejon Swan with the catch, 234 passing yards for Matt Wilson. Another first down for Rochester. And it's getting late early for Cleveland. They're going to have to start burning timeouts. 34-17, Fresno gets the win. How about the Bobcats? They were dead to rights, and an unlikely hero stepped into the fold for Fresno. Ducty Tape, one of the most absurd names you will ever see, but you know what? That's what his parents named him, I guess, as Mears gets a first down, pushing the Pio forward. Mears has had a stellar second half, but Rochester was in the toilet. They were 6-4 at one point this season after a huge win over San Diego and St. Louis, but then they lost by 15 to Austin, lost by 16 to Salt Lake, lost by 17 to Los Angeles. Things were bleak. They had a fourth quarter eruption in primetime against Vegas a couple of weeks ago. And now here today, they go into New Orleans and get the win. Fresno is at San Diego the last week of the season, Wednesday, August 27th. Fresno can't catch San Diego, but they could sweep San Diego this season. And if they get to 9-7, the highest seed that Fresno can beat is the 7 seed. So they're not really they can't really get higher than that, because 5 teams in the West already have 10 wins.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
The battle of the cats, Anthony. You are correct, sir. So if Fresno was the 7 seed in this hypothesis, they would take on maybe the winner of the division, San Diego, Los Angeles, in an interesting wild card matchup, or it could be the Dakota Rhinos in that spot, or Salt Lake if they have a collapse in the last couple of weeks. Salt Lake's been playing very good football. First down and goal for Rochester. Cleveland has burned all of their timeouts with 2:14 remaining. The handoff to Mears, and she walks it in. What an answer from Rochester. Cleveland back-to-back touchdowns in this game put the pressure on the Pioneers, and the Pioneers delivered, seeking their first playoff appearance in franchise history. The Pioneers took a major step forward today, and on top of that, have set up a showdown with the New York Lightning on August 30th. And the winner of that game would be your division winner, because if they're tied going into next week at 9-6, well, obviously the winner's going to have a better record. If New York loses this week, but then beats Rochester in the final week of the season, both teams would be 9-7, and both teams will have split the season series. If you're wondering, the next tiebreaker is conference record. Right now, both Rochester and New York are 6-4 in conference. Rochester will go to 7-4 after today, and New York takes on Charlotte Sunday, August 24th. So if New York wins that game, they would also be 7-4. But if they lose that game, then they would be 6-5. Well, if New York beats Rochester, then both teams would finish 7-5. It could come all the way down to resume for between Rochester and New York. And right now, the resume tiebreaker is 543 for New York, 534 for Rochester. Essentially, the resume tiebreaker takes strength of victory, strength of schedule, and your opponent's strength of victory, strength of schedule collaborates and tabulates a monster number that ultimately gets you a percentage between 1 and 1,000. As that pass is caught by Ronnie on the sideline. This game is not over. 2:03 to go in the fourth quarter. Cleveland could still score and get an onside kick. Beaverhausen 5 catches and 2 touchdowns.
Double time. We got three, fellas, we got.
Whatever seed Rochester ends up, whoever they end up playing in the first round, which currently would be New York, which would be fitting. It's going to be exciting for the Pioneers organization. Now, again, they have not clinched a playoff spot, because in this scenario, let's say that Rochester loses the division at 9-7. Well, if Tennessee, Milwaukee, and Motor City all win out, then there's, or if Tennessee and Milwaukee all win out, then you end up with, well, no, it would be Motor City as well. That would be 4 teams at 9 and 7. Now hold on it, folks, because Milwaukee plays Tennessee, which means that Tennessee, Milwaukee, and Motor City cannot all finish 9 and 7, which means that I believe that Rochester, as that pass is dropped, just here in real time, I believe Rochester has just clinched a playoff spot today. And that would be major news, as Rochester has been in the Ultimate Football League's entire existence. In 26 simulated seasons, has never made the playoffs. And under the guise of Matt Wilson and Casey Mears and Justin Reside and Dijon Swan and E.K. Vincent and company, as Cleveland picks up the first down, they have no more timeouts. That would be an amazing accomplishment for Rochester. Later today here on the Virtual Football Network, SFL Week 6 kicks off at 5:45 p.m. Eastern in a little less than 2 hours with the SFL, or the Matt Wilson SFL kickoff show with Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith. And then we have 4 games, 2 kicking off at 6:30 Eastern and 2 kicking off at 9 p.m. Eastern. A full day of action here on the Virtual Football Network. And Mike Daggs, I know you're out there. I saw your message. I will be working on getting everything ready for your show first, and I'll be able to let you know ASAP what version we are using there. 42 seconds left, 3rd down and 7 for Cleveland. 40-28, the odds are stacked against the Bandits. Shy Ronnie going to take a shot on 3rd down and 7, and that pass is overthrown. 26-38, 3 touchdowns. Not too shabby numbers for Ronnie today, but it is 4th down and 7. Cleveland is out of timeouts, and this is it for the Bandits. Appreciate you outside the box very much. And all you viewers out there who were able to tune in today despite just a short notice of moving these games to Saturday afternoon. It's not a normal time when the UFL is on. We hope to catch up on our remaining highlights and box scores here on this channel and on our website in the coming next couple of days. 4th down and 7, Rochester with the interception, getting up and running, still on his feet down the sideline near the Cleveland bench just to run it in. Edwards with the pick. The Pioneers improved to 9 and 6 and may have just locked their first playoff appearance up in franchise history. Cleveland, who's been playing their best football down the stretch of this season, a valiant effort here in Rochester, but it looks like they're going to come up short. The Pioneers, coming off of a miserable 34-3 primetime loss to Tennessee, turn things around today. And the 40 points they scored today ties a season high with their debut game, primetime game, that when they beat Charlotte 40-21 all the way back on February 18th when all this started. How about the Pioneers? Again, at 9 and 7, you're looking for any teams that could knock them out. Tennessee, Milwaukee, and Motor City all cannot finish 9 and 7 because Tennessee and Milwaukee play each other on Sunday, August 24th in a week's time, meaning that Rochester at 9 wins is in the playoffs. The stats of that game later this week on UFL.football and in the individual live stream in the video section right here on VFN. Cue the outro. What a day here on Game Night. We're just getting started on the Virtual Football Network. Phoenix finally ends the losing streak of 1-score losses, and they come up clutch with a 1-score win, 27-24 over Minnesota. Rochester puts up a 40-burger and outlasts Cleveland 40-28. Fresno goes into New Orleans, gets their 2nd straight win, and takes another step closer into making the UFL playoffs. They win 34-17 over the Claws. From all of us at the UFL, this has been a presentation of the Virtual Football Network. I'm UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine, and all of us thank you for the UFL, from the UFL. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you back here for more football on the Virtual Football Network later this afternoon.